My mother wickedness. They say a mother's voice is the first sound a child learns to trust. They say a mother's arms are the first place a child feels safe. But for me, those words were only stories I heard about other children, says Ada. I did not grow up wrapped in warmth. I grew up wrapped in fear. I did not grow up hearing my name spoken with love. I grew up hearing it spoken with anger, with irritation, with regret. From the very beginning of my life, my mother did not want me, and she never tried to hide it. She reminded me of it with her eyes. She reminded me of it with her words. She reminded me of it with her silence. Even before I understood the meaning of rejection, I was already living inside it. When I was small and sick, she complained as if I had chosen to fail ill. When I cried from pain, she shouted as if my tears offended her. When I laughed like any innocent child, she frowned as though my happiness was an insult. I watched other children run into their mother's arms. I watched them receive comfort, protections, and kindness. I learned early that my arms would remain empty. In my mother's house, love was scarce, and I was not worthy of it. I was not treated like a blessing. I was treated like a burden she had been forced to carry against her will. Sometimes she would stare at me for a long time, not with concern, not with affection, but with resentment. Then she would say a word, "You are the reason my life is hard." At that age, I did not fully understand what she meant. I did not know what hardship was. I did not know what regret looked like. But those words entered my heart quietly and they stayed there. They shaped how I saw myself. They taught me that my existence was a mistake. They made me believe that love was something I had to earn. I still might never deserve. That was how my life began, not with a mother's embrace, but with a mother's rejection. And that rejection became the foundation on which my pain was built. My mother did not need a reason to punish me. If she woke up angry, it was my fault. If she argued with someone outside, I paid for it. She beat me in front of people. She insulted me without shame. People begged her. She is just a child. My mother replied, "This one is stubborn from birth." I learned early that no one would save me at home. There was food in the house, but not for me. Many nights I slept hungry, not because we had nothing, but because she said I did not deserve to eat. I would watch others eat while my stomach twisted in pain. If I cried, she said, "Hunger will teach you sense." I became thin, not just in the body, but in spirit. This was the part that broke me most. My mother loved other people's children. She fed them well. She laughed with them. She defended them. But when it came to me, her own child, her heart turned to stone. I watched from a corner, asking myself, what did I do to deserve this? My mother did not just beat me, she destroyed me with words. "You will never make it in life," she said. "You will end up useless. Nothing good will ever come from you." I carried those words everywhere. Even when teachers praised me, I doubted myself. Even when people believed in me, I felt small. My mother's voice lived inside my head. One evening, after another beating, she pointed at the door and shouted, "Get out of my house, you witch." I begged her. I knelt down. I cried. She did not listen. She threw my small bag outside. That night, I left home with shaky legs. No money, No protection, no blessing, only tears and fear. Outside was worse. I slept on bay floors, sometimes outside. I worked small jobs. People cheated me. People insulted me. Many nights I cried quietly and whispered, God, please don't let me die like this. I thought of going back home, but I remembered my mother's eyes, cold, hard, unloving. So I stayed. I endured the pains. Suffering taught me things love never taught me. I learned to endure. I learned to wake up when life pushed me down. I learned to work harder than anyone else. Each insult reminded me of my mother. Each rejection strengthened me. I told myself, I must succeed. I must not fail. Years back, no one knew my story. I suffered quietly. I celebrated small wins alone. I cried alone. I prayed alone. But slowly, things changed. My life did not change with a miracle. There was no sudden breakthrough. No hand from heaven dropped money into my lap. No one came to rescue me. My life changed quietly. It changed with one small opportunity that most people would have ignored. A small job, long hours, little pay, nothing impressive, nothing people would celebrate. But to me, it was a door, and I was tired of sleeping outside doors that never opened. I started with nothing big, no connections, no support, no one cheering me on. I woke up early, long before the sun. I worked late, long after my body begged me to rest. When others complained, I said yes. When others gave excuses, I showed up. Sometimes my heart shook from tiredness. Sometimes my body ached in places I did not know existed. And sometimes my heart wanted to give up. But every night, memory stood in front of me. I remembered hunger, not the hunger that comes and goes, but the hunger that makes you weak and quiet. I remembered sleeping outside, wondering if morning would come gently or cruelly. I remembered my mother's words, words that once broke me, but now pushed me forward. And each time I remembered, I stood up again. I suffered quietly. I celebrated small wins alone. I prayed alone. There was no applause, just me and the promise I made to myself. I will not return to that life. Slowly, things began to change. Not overnight, not loudly, but steadily. I learned why others rested. I practiced while others laughed. I listened more than I spoke. Pain had disciplined me. Hunger had trained me. Rejection had shaped me. People started noticing something about me. I was not lazy. I was not careless. I was hungry, not for food, but for change. And that hunger refused to let me stop. After some years, my work spoke louder than my story. I entered places I once stood outside of. I shook hands with people I was feared. My name started moving faster than my body. Before I arrived somewhere, people already knew me. I remembered when my own mother did not want to say my name. That memory made my eyes wet. Money came, not suddenly, slowly. I learned to manage it wisely. I remembered hunger, so I was careful. I built a small home, then a bigger one. I helped people quietly. I paid school fees for children like me. Each time I helped someone, I healed a small part of my past. I did not rush love. I was afraid, but love found me gently. Someone saw my scars and did not run. Someone listened to my story and stayed. We built trust slowly. We married with prayers and tears. That day, as I stood smiling, I remembered how my mother once chased me away. I cried in silence. God blessed me with children. When I held my first child, my heart shook. I promised myself, you will never beg for my love. I hugged them every chance I got. I spoke gently to them. I protected them fiercely. Each smile from my children healed a wound inside me. My work grew bigger. My business expanded. My influence spread. People spoke my name in offices, streets, and gatherings. The same name my mother was cursed was now spoken with respect. I did not shout. I remained humbled because I knew where I came from. One day, my mother heard my name in the city. People were praising me. She asked quietly, who is she? Who are you people praising? When they told her, her heart dropped. She sat down. She remembered hunger. She remembered beatings. She remembered words she spoke in anger. That night, she could not sleep. My mother grew thin. Regret became her companion. She cried alone and said, what have I done? She remembered the child she pushed away, the same child she now admired from far. Shame covered her like clothes. One morning, my gate opened, not loudly, not with confidence, but slowly, as if the person outside was afraid of what waited inside. I looked up. An old woman stood there. For a moment, I did not recognize her. She was thinner than I remember, smaller, bent by years and regret. Her hair was grey, her shoulders dropped, her hands trembled as she held the gate for support. Then our eyes met, and my heart stopped. It was my mother, the same woman whose voice once terrified me, the same woman whose words chased me out of my childhood. Now standing before me, her eyes were tired, not from age alone, but from a lifetime of carrying guilt. She looked at me as if she wasn't sure I was real, as if she had practiced this moment many times, but still didn't know what to say. Then slowly she knelt down, right there in front of my gate. Her eyes hit the ground. Her pride followed. She cried, not quietly, but with the kind of cry that comes from years of buried regret. People began to gather. Whispers filled the air. Still kneeling, she raised her face and said, with a broken voice, please forgive me. I was wicked. I know. I was wicked. Please forgive me. I am still your mother. Please. I stood there shaking, not from anger, not from fear, but from memories rushing back without warning. Hunger, cold nights, lonely prayers, tears I swallowed as a child. I remember sleeping without food. I remembered crying without comfort. I remembered being blamed for simply existing. My chest tightened. I cried with her. I cried heavily. Not because it didn't hurt anymore, but because holding anger for so long and become heavier than the pain itself. I walked towards her. I looked at her. I lifted her from the ground, and in that moment, I did something I never thought I could do. I forgave her, not because she deserved it, but because I deserve peace. Today, my life is full. I have sources, I have love, I have children, but I never forget where I came from because pain shaped me and forgiveness freed me. This story is not about a wicked mother alone. It is about what pain can do to a heart and what love can still do after pain. I learned that a child who grows without love does not automatically grow without words. Sometimes they grow with strength they never asked for. I learned that parents can be broken people too, and broken people often break others without realizing the damage they leave behind. I learned that forgiveness does not erase the past. It does not pretend the pain never happened. It simply refuses to let the pain decide the future. And I learned this most of all. A child you refuse to love today may become the only person strong enough to forgive you tomorrow. So love your children while you can. Speak gently while your voice still matters. Heal your wounds before they become someone else's scars, because some apologies arrived late, but the consequences always arrived on time. So guys, if you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, likes and comment for more Africa stories. Thank you and remain blessed.